Hello friends, it's time for another Good to Know Monday tip. I titled today's video tip, How to Make Limiting Beliefs Disappear. Too often we think thoughts like, because I've messed up as a mother or as a father, etc., I therefore am messed up, period. Let me see right here and now, this kind of self-defeating, self-limiting thoughts are just not true. These are just the thoughts that make up the difference between a winner's way of thinking and what some call a loser's way of thinking. Winners are optimistic and losers have the thoughts that are pessimistic. The difference between the optimist or winner and the pessimist or loser is how they think about and therefore what their beliefs are about the pervasiveness of their problems. An achiever, an optimist, a winner never sees a problem as being pervasive, meaning they don't see their problems as something that is going to control their whole life. They see it as a way to say to themselves, well, it's just a little challenge with my eating pattern. I can solve it. On the other hand, the underachiever, the pessimist, the loser sees their problem and thinks to themselves things like, I'm the problem because I always overeat. My entire life is entirely destroyed. Those who believe that they are the problem and that they can't change have what is called learned helplessness. These folks have developed a belief that says, because I've screwed up as a mom, I'm a bad mom or a failure. In time, if these pessimistic thoughts don't change, then you're going to continue to think this way over and over again, and this belief will sink deep into your mind as mapping. And the kind of mapping that says this is just out of my control. And those thoughts make them feel completely helpless. Can you imagine the impact of believing both permanence and pervasiveness about your problems? That's a double whammy. The solution to such negative thoughts is to see that there is a solution to your problem, and that the solution is the thought that says you can take control of these culprits, these enemies of your thinking, and thereby change your feelings, which produce positive action and not the negative ones you've been experiencing. And that then takes back the control once again of your circumstance. You're the circumstance you can control, not somebody else or some other circumstance. And that way you eliminate your beliefs that are critical of yourself. You eliminate these limiting beliefs. They disappear. These principles support the law of thought transformation, which says if we don't see a failure as a challenge to modify, to transform our approach to it, but rather as a problem with ourselves so that we see ourselves as having a personality defect that we can't change, we will continue to feel overwhelmed and helpless and always seeking to avoid the pain. The point I'm trying to make here can be summarized with one simple question. How inspired can you get by beating yourself up? Holding these kind of limiting beliefs is equivalent to systematically ingesting minute doses of arsenic that over time builds up to a fatal dose. We must do all we can to change our thoughts so that we take our power back and not play the victim of our circumstances. Thought transformation is the way to do this. It's the way in which we can avoid these murderous thoughts that kill our hope and bombard our minds with destructive feelings and negative emotions. We have to do all we can to avoid them at all costs. Buddha said, we are what we think. All that we are arises from our thoughts, he said. So great. With our thoughts, we make our world and therefore our destiny, end quote. Most of us make our challenges personal. We think they are evidence of some kind of defect in us, which in turn leads us to disbelieve in ourselves. But we must remember that as long as we believe something, good or bad, about ourselves, our brains operate on automatic pilot, filtering that input from the environment and by searching for references in our mind and the relationships we've experienced to validate our belief, regardless of what it is. I call this process a critical thinking process, gathering all the support material needed to confirm our belief, including seeking out allies that will join us in our pity party, right? What's the bottom line regarding these limiting beliefs, you ask? Here it is. All personal breakthroughs begin with the change in beliefs, period. And using the power of thought transformation is how you can change your beliefs. You do it by going through what's called thought work, so that you come up with thought options that are different from your current limiting beliefs and changing those beliefs. Choosing a thought that generates better feelings, the feelings you really want to feel, and accepting them as possible, and maybe even as a truth for you, your feelings will change and your actions will follow those feelings and changes. And your result can be an entirely different outcome of unlimited belief in yourself. Now, before I let you go, let me take just a moment once again and invite those of you who haven't learned yet that I have a button or a link that says I'm going to give you a free coaching call. You ought to take advantage of it. Go ahead and take me up on that option, that invite, as I call it. Make the decision right now to let me coach you for an hour for free. You'll be glad you did. I love coaching beginner entrepreneurs just like you and how to start and launch a business successfully. And I'd be extremely honored to spend some time with you coaching you on your personal questions and goals. In the Good to Know Monday tip email that I sent you that had this video in it, it included a link that says free coaching call with Coach B. Go ahead and click on it and set up your free coaching call now. It's a private coaching call with just me and you. Do it. It'll help you to take your dreams and your goals and the steps that'll take you on to the next level. I promise I won't pressure you to become a member of my beginner entrepreneur community at the end of the call. That's not how I work. It's not my style. I will just simply say this. It's a great experience. You'll come away thinking, I really enjoyed that. I promise that's what's going to happen. Okay, I'm done with the invitation. So until next Monday, when I'll send out another Good to Know Monday tip, I want to wish you all continued success. Goodbye.